I'm Dr. Stephenson, and I'm both a professional speaker as well as a therapist. And it is my pleasure to be able to share with you a personal story from my past. It took place on July 31st, 2014. I was just routinely going to the mail to pick up the daily packages that were coming in. And I was taking my dog for a walk on this quick jaunt to the post office. When we got to the post office, there was another dog there, and he spooked my dog. My dog went running away, and he was tied to my wheelchair, and so he flipped the wheelchair over, and I went flying onto the concrete. And in that split second, move from a dog who was just scared, my life almost ended. I fractured my skull. I had a concussion. I came down my right side and smashed most of my right side. And I also fractured my hip, my femur, my kneecap, and my ankle. And so you can imagine the amount of shock the body went into with multiple injuries on that level of intensity. For 25 days, I had no access to my short-term memory. And what that entails is a life of everything feeling seamless, but everyone around you telling you that it's not. And I have dealt with a physical disability my whole life, but I've never been dealt the intellectual, emotional, and mental challenges that this accident brought into my reality. I couldn't remember the accident. I couldn't remember if I had lunch. I couldn't remember if we had talked on the phone, if you stopped by to give me a hug. Nothing was recorded for 25 days. Fortunately, the brain came back online, and I've since had a full recovery of my short-term memory. I got through it in a very unique way. I decided to involve my social media community. And when I was in the hospital and the doctors were worried about my survival, I reached for my iPhone and I put out a request for prayers and love and healing energy. And I even asked the atheists that were following me to just send happy vibes my way. Eventually, hundreds of thousands of people had written in, had commented, had shared the message. I do believe it is one of the reasons why I healed so miraculously. The doctors told my wife and I that if the blood didn't stop pooling onto the brain, that I was going to go in for an operation. And within a matter of a 2-hour window after asking for all those prayers and support, the bleeding stopped on its own. Call it a miracle, call it fluke, but I just call it amazing. I learned that, that cliche that life can turn on a dime. When you're not in pain, you need to celebrate. The only real thing is that which comes out of our heart, and that is love for each other, for ourselves, and for some greater good here. I learned to be patient. Healing takes time. I had to learn to trust my community, and, over 40 people came and visited me at my house, and strangers that just sent cards and letters and video messages. And of course I had no short-term memory, so I would review them over and over and over as if they were the first time, which in some ways was kind of beautiful too, because I didn't just get to hear love from somebody once. I got to hear it 12 times for the first time. I would say that what my mentor, Byron Katie, she called me up after the accident, and she said, "Sean, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be hard to hear, but it's going to relieve you and heal you much quicker." And she said, "Stop thinking about it as an accident. Think about it as part of your purpose. And that everything that comes to you, whether it's the death of a child that you're raising, or a loved one gets sick, or you get in a bad injury and you lose the ability to do that which you claim was your favorite thing to do, all of that is on your journey. All of it's on your purpose. Even the stuff that we can't understand, I believe that it's there to teach us things and to see how we react. I don't think that life is meant to run smoothly and perfectly for all of us. and for any of us, really. I think that we are supposed to interpret things in ways that are empowering and come from a space of gratitude, because I can't control what happens to me, but I can control whether I think it's for my own good. And if I think that something's happening for my own good, then I seek out the lessons, I seek out the strength, I seek out the courage, the stamina. You have to have a bigger picture and believe that there's some purpose to your life.